Let's go, baby. I am so happy for these guys. I'm so happy that Spain beat England, not just for Lamine Yamal or Nico or Pedri, Gavi, Firmino, and Ferran. I'm just happy to see this side come up and do something like this with so many youngsters. It was a lot of fun, and they deserve a lot of credit. But let's go through the match, talk a little bit about ranking the players, how they all did, and a little bit about England as well, since I think we care a little bit about those players as well. I'm not going to go through all of the tactics or anything here. I'm not the purist. I don't know ball like that, but I do know that England were really sitting back in the first half. They really were not creating anything except for Pickford bunting the ball all the way up to Harry Kane and hoping he won a header and headed it on for Foden running in behind or Bellingham or something like that, which never worked. But I think they did a good job of defending the side. I think they really did a good job of congesting the middle, making it difficult for the Spanish guys to connect with one another. And it worked. Nobody scored. I think Lamine Yamal was constantly triple teamed by Rice, Bellingham, and who was that? Shaw on that side. They did a solid job. Especially Bellingham did a really good job tracking back, and he deserves credit for that. Lamine Yamal was not as apparent in the beginning of this game as I think a lot of people expected him to be. And you could say a little bit of the same with Nico. I think Nico was more involved. He could find more space there. Even though Saka was defending well. But I think Nico was probably the best player on the pitch besides maybe Rodri in the first half. With one key player being the difference, Dani Carvajal was incredible today. And not just in the first half, in the second half. Carvajal was the best guy besides those three players. By far. He was really good today. And I will never give him credit again, probably in my entire life. So I'm going to give it to him today. Good for him. Very well played. Held down that side, defended Bellingham constantly very well. Really impressed me today. Really well done from him. In the first half, though, they couldn't create a ton. And then in the second half, immediately, you saw Rodri come off. Everyone was shocked, myself included. I was like, what the hell's going on here? And somehow they break through. Lamine plays a perfect pass to Nico Williams, who, whenever he's in that position, seems to score, because I've seen him score from that position several times. And what did he do? Put it in with his left foot. Fantastically past Pickford. That was spectacular to see, and it made everybody so happy. And I think they deserved it. They played the better football, whatever you want to say. That's not necessarily always the winning football, but I think they deserved a goal. And for a lot of that second half, they were pretty solid. And then England made some changes, and there was going to be some intensity. They figured it out. Bellingham did a good job of holding up the ball and then passing it up to Cole Palmer, who made a good finish. That was a really good goal. He deserves credit for that. I'm not surprised Cole scored that because he is good in those situations. And that tied up the game, made it a little bit more intense. But, we all know they came through. Insane recovery from Cucurella. I had no faith that he was going to get his foot on that ball. Somehow he did, made a perfect pass to Oyarzabal, who somehow was onside and finished it as well as any striker could have hoped. I'm lost for words right now. I'm so happy for the boys to see them win something. Especially these Barca boys that, I don't know, haven't gotten anything all year, had a really tough year, lost Xavi is bad, saw Xavi get sacked, and so it's been really tough for them. And okay, let's get into the rankings. I'm rambling because I'm just happy, and I don't really know what to say. But we're going to start with Unai Simon, who I thought was good. Big standout today. I think he was better on the ball. I think he's been pretty poor on the ball throughout this entire tournament. He's given the ball away several times in dangerous positions in almost every match. And thankfully, he didn't do that today. England might have been able to capitalize on that, but he didn't do it today. And he made that great save right at the end there with the headers bopping around. Same with Dani Olmo's forehead, as we were saying. Deserves a lot of credit, too. But good job from Unai Simon, 7.5, just because he was better today on the ball and made that save. Moving on to the defenders. Dani Carvajal, I'm going to give him an 8.5. No, I'm going to give him a 9. I really liked him today. I thought he was really good. Locked down Bellingham very, I don't want to say easily, but pretty easily. And he's my MVP at the back today. I think Lenormand was fine. I don't think he was wonderful, but 6. I give him a 7 just because they won. 6.5. I'm gonna give him a 6.5. Laporte was a little bit better. 7.5 was really the most reliable player between the two of them. Opened up a little bit of a threat going forward as well. Made some good runs. Brought the ball past England's midfield a few times when we were struggling. Good for him. Good job. Cucurella. Again, another solid game defensively in a game where I'm surprised, because he was up against Saka, who's a decent winger, a decent one-on-one player. And there were times where Saka got around him, put in a good cross. But Cucurella stopped that, and then he made that insane recovery run to make that pass under Kyle Walker directly to Oyarzabal. 7.5 for him as well. Fabian was pretty solid today. I don't think he was involved as much as he has been until the end of the game. When Rodri went off, it was clear Fabian had a much more of a role further back on the ball. And he was kind of that distributor, more so than Zubi was. But I think Fabian had a solid game. I'm going to give him a 7.5 as well. I don't think it was his best. But Rodri, though, I thought Rodri was really good in the first half. Maybe not the most incredibly creative on the ball, but his work rate defensively did not go unnoticed. He made a couple really good blocks and very important blocks, and I think it was a big loss to see him miss that first half. Obviously, the second half, but obviously it was okay after Lamine Yamal and Nico scored. Took a little bit of pressure off them, even though that's actually when England started to actually push up and open up space. But funnily enough, I think when they did that, they opened up, they had to drag Foden forward and everything. That created a lot more space in the middle, and it made it easier to get the ball out to Morata and create a little bit from there. So, solid game from both of them. I'm going to give 7.5 to Fabian, 7 to Rodri just because he had to come off. I would have liked to see him stay on. Dani Olmo, I'm going to give him an 8 just for that header off the line. Without that header, we're in extra time right now. I'm not recording this video, and I'm a lot more stressed out. We don't know what would have happened, but he was in the right place at the right time. 8.5. No matter if he had a complete stinker everywhere else on the pitch, it doesn't matter. He blocked it when it mattered, and I don't think he had a stinker. He was linking up really well at the end of the game with Nico Williams and Lamine a little bit, almost creating something. They just couldn't squeeze it through. There was one chance he missed. I think it was on his left foot. That could have been better. Actually, I'm going to take it down to an 8 because I wish that went in. Nico Williams, though, scored that really tidy finish. Just easy. I don't think I was ever in doubt. It was just so simple and easy, and he made it look that way. I got to give him an 8.5 probably. And I think I make him my man of the match because of how decent he played in the first half. I don't think it's because he played so well that he deserves it, but because he was actually impactful. Lamine could not get into the game because they were marking him out of the game. But that probably actually opened up space for Nico to do his thing. Nonetheless, Nico did his thing, so I think he deserves the man of the match. I'm still yet to see who actually got it. I saw some website saying it was Bellingham, which is crazy to me, but whatever. Solid game from him, 8.5. Lamine Yamal, I'm going to give him an 8 just because he had trouble getting into the game in the first half, and he missed that chance at the end there. Oh my God, I would have lost my mind. I think that was before Oyarzabal scored too, so it was when they still needed a goal to go up. He was much more effective in the second half there. Good job from him today. I wish he got more football, but it's okay. And then Morata. I hate Morata, but I like him a little bit. I think he's helpful for this team in some situations, especially when they need to press or they're trying to win the ball back. He can be good in those situations, and I haven't given him enough credit for that throughout this tournament. I'm going to give him a 7.5 for that work that he puts in off the ball and that kind of fight that he has. His link of play is never good enough to me, and obviously walking away with no goals as the striker, whatever. He's not always in those positions, but we saw Oyarzabal do it now. The team was a lot more open, in my opinion, from England. Nonetheless, I think he deserves a 7.5, just because of how much work he does put in off the ball, that pressing, that running, that fight that he has. He deserves credit for it more than I've given him. And so now let's go on to the subs. Zubi was solid, I think. I really don't have it. I don't think there were any flaws in his game. He did the job when he wasn't expected to and deserves credit for that. I'm going to give him a 7. I don't think he was spectacular, but I don't think he was bad either. I think he did his job, worked out the way he needed to work out, was safe on the ball, wasn't super adventurous. Maybe you can ask a little bit more from that, but like we've been seeing from Rodri pretty much all tournament, that's not what that position in Spain's side is expected to do. So good job from him today. 7 is fair, I think. And then Oyarzabal, I'm going to give him an 8.5 as well. I'm not going to make him the man of the match because that was really his only thing that he did in the match was score. Now, he ran after the ball, pressured well and everything, but yeah, I'm gonna give him an 8.5. Just that was a great finish. And Nacho was really good as well. I thought Nacho had a solid game. The Madrid guys played well today. Good job from Nacho. I'm gonna give him a 7.5 too. Yeah, really well from him. And Mikel Merino didn't really do a ton, ran a lot, did his job. 7. That's pretty much the average of what I give when I don't see much from them. And that leaves me with England, who I think they defended well. I think John Stones had a hell of a game. always got his head on the ball on corners and free kicks and was just always in the way of the Spanish guys. Pickford was fine, gave the ball away a couple times with his long balls, but made some decent saves. Obviously saved Lamines' chance. Kyle Walker and Shaw, too, deserve some credit for the defensive duties. I don't think Declan Rice was spectacular. I think Kobbie Mainoo was okay. Pretty good defensively. Okay. Again, didn't really do a ton, in my opinion, besides, filling up a position, forcing them, maybe out wide more or making it difficult for Nico Williams on that side. Phil Foden, also just non-existent today. Nothing from Phil. Very little from Saka. Now, we saw a little bit more from him in the second half. And I think Harry Kane, too, was very much so useless today. I think it was good to bring in Ollie Watkins. Ollie, sadly, he almost created a little bit there. There was a few touches that if they were tighter could have been dangerous, but he didn't have it today. Cole Palmer was really good, and I think Jude Bellingham was okay. He struggled a lot in the first half. I think Rahal really locked him down, but Bellingham did have a couple of really dangerous turns. Obviously, there was that one shot that went wide. He did okay. He was probably the best player on the pitch for England until Cole Palmer scored that goal. Kudos to Spain. I wish I could have seen Fermin Lopez in that match. I think we would have, too, if it went to extra time. I think we would have seen him come on for Olmo, probably, and that would have been exciting, man. I would have lost my mind. But I can't be any more happy than I am right now. And I'm just happy for the boys that they got a win, that we got something to be proud of our Barca boys. I mean, we've had things to be proud of, but a win is different, and it feels great. So, thank you again for watching, guys. This was a crazy tournament. I'm sorry I wasn't following the Copa America as much or live streaming it or talking about it, but I just haven't had the time to do 2 tournaments at once. I don't have the energy for it either. I think I'm going to make a video on the main channel for this week, and we'll see what comes next. I'm hoping they make this Nico Williams signing official soon, but who knows. Thank you guys for watching. Forza Barça, Viva España. Let's go, boys. Great game today.